Guys, if I see another TikTok where the entire restaurant is just white people, I might lose my shit. In Kenya, like, I saw this TikTok of a restaurant called Peponi. It's a pizza place. Just white people. I swear to God, I was like, what a coincidence. Peponi's in Kenya too. Check the caption. It's in Kenya. Did I not almost throw myself? What the hell? What the 10,000 of you want to come? I stopped getting discounts on Uber already. I don't fuck with this. Okay? Bolt, I got 10% discount. Where's my 60? The economy's already going under. And who's making it worse? Yeah. Sorry, I just wanted to encourage racism. A little bit of light xenophobia. All I'm saying, guys, I'm not saying kick him out. I'm just saying to make him feel welcome.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren.
And I'm Maureen.
Right, so white people are flooding to Kenya right now, and a lot of them have been seen on the internet, especially on the Kenyan TikTok, because there's a challenge right now that is going viral. If you go on TikTok and type, Kenya is calling, that is the hashtag that is trending on TikTok and in Kenyan TikTok, of white right people now calling themselves to come into Kenya. And guys, my question is, should I be worried or should I be feeling worried right now that a lot of white people are coming into Kenya, you know?
Yeah, and it's not only us. A lot of Kenyans, as you've said, they're starting to wonder, why is this a trend, and why are white people hopping on this trend?
Guys, I wanted to say, but we are going to be coming back for our commentary, so look out for that at the end of the video and in between, right? But I wanted to say there's a reason why running away
Kenya is calling these kind of people, and they're running away from where they're coming from.
Right, and I'm asking myself, my concern is, in America, I feel like America as a country, as a continent, has gotten to a place where it is right now because of them, right? The systems they've created and the oligarchs, the companies that control America, and like literally America has gotten to where it is because of their people, you know.
And the biggest question is, are they bringing whatever they are running from America with them? Because right now we usually hear a lot of Americans and also South Africans, because let's mind that Black Americans have a lot of shared experiences when it comes to white people with South Africans, you know. There is a point last month where a lot of South Africans were telling Kenyans, please don't allow them type of people to come into your country and be so comfortable in your country because of gentrification. And also we had a lot of Black Americans who were complaining that in as much as these people come into your area and your area becomes more valuable and more safe, they also bring the gentrification with them, and other issues whereby rent gets hiked and whatnot. But guys, I don't want to talk too much. Let's just watch what we prepared for you, and then we come back and talk about it. You can also let us know what you think about this episode in the comment section. Let's watch.
Is Kenya truly paradise on earth? It really is. It's so insanely cheap. You know, if you want to get married, it's a good Christian country for that. Kenya is a fine country. Like, people think Africa and they start shaking out of fear. Shida, I'm speaking to white people here, no problem. There's no issue. Like, in other places in Africa, I know a Danish man, he went to Ghana. Like, you can live in these African places without any problem. There's nothing but peace and prosperity and abundance. You know, and there's lots of things you can do. Lots of business, many great things. The rumors that it's just everything doesn't work and things are not good in Africa, it's true partially, but the thing is, things work, right? You know, things work and you can do business, you can do many things. As long as you contribute to their society, it's also peaceful, by the way. You know, some people think areas are dangerous. Yeah, maybe the slum. I've even been in the slums, nothing happened. I'm fine. But I wouldn't recommend living in the Kenyan slums. But like you can live so cheap in nice places. And
Guys, the funny thing is that like it's very easy for palm colored people to come into Africa, right? Like for his case, he has told you from his own mouth that it's quite easy to come into Africa, whatever country you want to live in, and it doesn't require a lot of things. And he's also said that it's quite safe, contrary to the propaganda that has been sold out there. Of course, people go through different experiences when they come into Africa, but for the most part, it is safe. Right now, I would say, like, if you compare Americans who are coming into Africa and those ones who are left living in America, the ones who are coming into Africa are saying they're finding a humane way of living, if that makes sense, and it's coming from his own mouth.
Robots.
Right. The problem with this is it's gonna create a problem, and right now Kenyans are complaining, and I feel like it's for a very good reason. If you find yourself on Kenyan TikTok, although some of them normally mix English and Swahili, I guess for the purpose of just communicating with their own people, but you'll find those ones who speak English, right? They are complaining about this a lot because they're talking about the gentrification of neighborhoods, and that is true. I can attest to that.
Right now, there's some neighborhoods in Kenya that Kenyans cannot afford to live in,
which used to be quite affordable.
Yeah,
but
not quite affordable. It was just affordable for the upper and
working class too.
Upper middle class of Kenya and working class of Kenya. It used to be affordable to them, but right now those neighborhoods have started renting in dollars, even selling apartments in dollars.
Right. As the first girl said, guys, let them come, but you don't have to welcome them. You know what I mean?
That is not Kenyan culture.
It's not.
Imagine you guys,
Kenyan
it's not
culture,
Kenyan
but it
culture.
has gotten to a place where you see every street you see a white person. They're like literally flooding the country.
You just sneeze, you see one passing.
Right?
You sneeze, you see another. Anyway, let's keep watching.
And it's easy. And the only places that are dangerous to live is the places with war. There's no war. I walk here, I say hello, they say hello. People sell fruit on the street. You can buy nice food, you can just... Right, that's just what I'm trying to say is like... It's really... Life is super easy if you have kidogo and pesa. You just need a little bit. And I know Kenyans always think Wazungu have unlimited money. But what I'm trying to speak to the white people out there, like, you could come to Kenya and live a very peaceful life, and it will not be raining spiritually or physically on your face, okay? It's a nice place.
And you get how white people come to African countries like Kenya, they see something good, they call each other, while in the same note, not him but other white people will discourage black people from coming. So for Kenyans to notice that, a big number of foreigners that are pouring into Kenya are white people. So with that being said, let's look at another clip where there's a white woman who came into Kenya and she easily found a job and she got good salary. And when she was asked if Kenya is racist, in her own opinion, she said Kenya was racist. And I'll tell you why after we watch this.
I had held 2 positions already where, putting hand to heart, those jobs I got because of my skin.
Oh.
Because, and very often when I go to Estonia or any other places, people ask me, is Kenya racist? And I tell them, yes, it is. And Kenya is racist because it discriminates against its own. And I am so very aware that I am privileged. I am so aware that I get favors. I'm so aware that there are things I was able to achieve simply because of the color of my skin.
And here's the thing that you're saying. It's not by people with the same skin color as you.
No.
It is Kenyans, blacks,
Yes.
being prejudiced to their own
Yes.
and choosing somebody else because in their minds, they believe that person is better because of their skin color.
Correct.
I do believe what she's saying, and that is not uncommon. Kenyans, and I feel like a lot of Africans at that matter, worship the white skin so much that, I mean, look at Susie getting, I'm not saying that's her real name, I'm just saying, look at her getting things on a very easy,
platter
on a
because
silver
she's
platter.
white.
Exactly.
And this is not even the first time we are saying this. I think we've said it in our recent episodes and other episodes that if I, as a Kenyan, was to walk into a room and I
Looking for
was
a
to
job.
walk into a room with a white person, that white person will most definitely and 100% get that job, even if our qualifications match together, but
Or even if you
I
have better.
yes, just because Kenyans and Africans at large, they have the mentality that white people know a lot,
everything.
white people know everything, and white people are better at everything, you know. Yeah, let's watch.
That
And-
is the height of the effect of colonialism.
Absolutely.
That is the epitome of it, where you think you're lesser than other people. You yourself believe somebody else is better on no other basis but on the skin color.
Yes.
Wow.
And so I was clearly aware that I was not the best candidate for that position. I just knew it's because they need somebody who looks like.
Have you seen that video of a white woman in Kenya? And basically the title of the video is Kenya racist? And this white woman says 100% that Kenya is racist. And Kenyans are not racist to white people, but they are, according to her, racist to other black people, whilst treating white people extremely well. Now, I'll tell you this now. My first real experience of actual proper racism was, listen to this, in Mombasa. This was years ago.
Guys, let me clarify something here. This is a Kenyan lady. She's giving her own account with racism in Kenya. And she has mentioned a place called Mombasa. Mombasa is one of the 47 counties.
Holiday destination.
And it's one of the 47 counties in Kenya. Kenya
It is
has
also
counties.
a city.
Yeah, it's also a city. And so just like for us, we live in a part called Nairobi, which is a capital city and it's a county in Kenya. So Mombasa is also another city in Kenya and it's also a county, right? And a huge known destination for tourists, especially white tourists. The reason why she must or might have experienced racism is not the first account coming out on the internet. There's a lot of black people, especially black Kenyans, who come out claiming that they've experienced racism in those
some results in Mombasa.
You ask yourself, why is this happening in Mombasa? Because there's a lot of white tourists. So can you imagine, is it any surprise that where you find palm-colored people, you find racism? But let's hear her experience.
But no, this time, you can't even blame the white people. You blame the Kenyans who live in the coastal region of Kenya.
Right.
And this is because they have a belief system that if a white person walks into your business, he's bringing big money, plus he will leave a tip after the service, But they do not like serving Kenyans and other black people because they automatically assume that Kenyans don't have enough money or they won't leave a tip after they're served.
Right, let's watch.
When I first got married and I went with my English husband to Kenya, I was nearly thrown out of the hotel, and they refused to acknowledge me or even talk to me. Others were speaking behind my back and they called me a Malaya. They, on the day we were checking out, they escorted my husband and they put him in the taxi and they closed the door and were pleading him to leave and go without me. I have never, ever, ever been treated so badly. And this was a Mzungu woman living in Kenya who said that she has noticed that actually Kenyans are very racist to their own. You know what? There's a quote that's saying, before you remove the log from, before you remove the speck from somebody's eyes.
Guys, you'll notice that in Kenya, white people are called, it is one white person, he or she is called a Mzungu, but if there are many, they are called Wazungu. So
Just
that is the term.
white people.
Yes.
Think about removing the log in your own eyes. Search it, you'll see it. And this is what she says. And this is self-hatred. Because you know what? together we're united, but we have to have respect for each other. We have to see other black people as a human. And all this stems from the dehumanization of black people, so much so that we actually are so much into hating ourselves and hating each other. You're more likely to get more hate from people who look like you. That is sad. So sad.
I just heard the most insane stat that the average American human is now more fat than the average American pig. How crazy is that? So the average American human, for women, it's about 40% body fat, and for men, it's about 28% body fat. And the average American pig is around 25% body fat. So the humans in America are now officially, on average, fatter than their pigs. That to me is just absolutely crazy, and just is a testament to how bad the American food system is. I am so grateful I don't live in America. Sure, America can be great in many ways, but their food and health system is royally fucked. At least here in Kenya, people get out in the sun, they're often moving and active, and they eat a pretty healthy diet for the most part. And another reason why Kenya is better than America.
So that's another white man talking about how great Kenya is and why he feels like Kenya is better than America, right? But I feel like there's a saying that people normally like to say, the grass is always not green on the other side, just water yours where you are, you know.
Right.
And
So right now we are going to be listening to a Black American woman who came to Kenya, and she's been quite successful as a businesswoman and as a farmer as well. And I believe she's a celebrity in America, right?
right, Kelly's, she's called Kelly's. Let's watch.
This is a tea farm that we're looking at to purchase. It is so green, it is so lush, it's beautiful. The captain said that we can see 5 mountains from here, and he says that on a clear day you can even see Mount Kilimanjaro. Amazing. It's all naturally irrigated, so it's from the mountain. It's spring water, which he said borders the other side of the property. So we're looking at about 200 acres. This is stunning, it's quiet.
You know what makes me feel good about seeing her clip is that she gives me hope, being that if not many Kenyans are in a position to buy these businesses and invest in Kenya, at least we know there are black foreigners who are willing to do that, because it is usually concerning if only white people come into your black country and buy up properties and land, and in the end they end up controlling the economy. And this is what happened in South Africa, such that right now 70% of the land is owned by white people, being that nearly 80% of the population is made up of black people, meaning white people heavily control the economy of South Africa.
There are tons of evergreens. There's a forest called the Upland Forest. We are in Kenya. This is beautiful. The ladies, it's very specific, it's a very laborious job, but they hand pick it, and it's the 2-leaf that they pick. And now we're going to go to a factory so we can see after they harvest it what exactly happens with it. So you can see the tea that we so lovely and easily put in our tea bags and stick in our hot water.
I would say that's a good investment for her, because Kenya actually is the main exporter of tea, and our tea has been praised international wise to be the
one
best.
of the best teas.
That one and Ethiopian tea, yeah.
Ooh,
so
no,
Ethiopian
Ethiopia is
coffee.
known for coffee.
Right. So
Yeah, Kenya too, but Ethiopia
Ethiopia
really
takes
good.
the coffee, Kenya takes the tea. So I do believe that's a good investment for her, right?
Yeah, plus Kenyans drink tea like nearly every hour
They
of the
behave
day.
like they're colonizers, and I'm not saying that as a compliment, right?
Yeah,
Because
we
they don't
drink
understand
tea every time.
every single time, whether it's hot, whether it's sunny, you know, it doesn't matter. And I do believe that Brits also practice the same culture. So you can, anyway, let's continue.
Bro, can someone please tell me why this whole entire time I thought all of Kenya looked like this? But bro, I just literally saw a video of what Kenya actually looks like. There's no way, bro. There is absolutely no way. This has to be fake. Somebody tell me if this is fake. Let me show you.
So guys, in this video, he first started by showing the coastal region of Kenya, Mombasa city, and then he showed Nairobi city, which is the capital of Kenya, the one with the big buildings and good roads. That was Nairobi, Kenya. And then he ended up by showing lastly Nairobi National Park, which is the only national park in the world to be located in a city, inside a city.
Right. And guys, I don't know why I'm feeling, should I be feeling, okay, let's just watch first. That is an afterthought we'll share.
There is no freaking way, bro. There is no way Kenya looks like that.
So guys, welcome back. I think the only thing I have to say about this whole situation about white people flocking Kenya in this big number is they have come to Kenya, they found a good breeding ground for themselves, and they found what works for them in Kenya, plus they can afford it. And I feel like this is the reason why they're coming to Kenya and they're calling each other to Kenya, because as we have heard ourselves from the horse's own mouth, the lady who was saying in Kenya, she gets perks because of her skin color more than Kenyans themselves. She gets job opportunities before Kenyans themselves. And I do feel like this is quite a sad trend we are witnessing right now. And we as Kenyans, I don't know what will be done to change this state of mentality, but I do feel like the best place we would start with would be decolonizing our own minds.
Yeah, it's quite sad that this is happening because, guys, if people have started coming out with stories about them experiencing racism in social spaces where white people also
white people,
exactly, then that is quite concerning because you remember when we told you right now in Kenya, it's very easy for you to spot a white person, like literally everywhere you turn, in every city, they're always there. Even here where we live, okay, here there aren't a lot of them, but they're also still there.
They're there. You see them, even the museums. You remember there's another time we were coming from our mom's business, and we spotted a Kamzungu, a white person, a Mzungu, and he was just
blending in, like,
yeah, he was just like an old Mzungu, and he was carrying shopping, and we were like,
he had a younger Kenyan wife.
He had a very young Kenyan wife, so he was carrying boxes and boxes of shopping. And I remember that time me and my sister just innocently and subconsciously asking each other, aren't Mzungus supposed to be rich? Why is he carrying his own shopping, and why is he not even hailing a taxi or Ubering, and you're in Kenya? You know the kind of dust that is in Kenya?
Not that, but dust.
Yes, dust.
Africa,
sorry.
A lot of African countries, we all have, like, we still have some kind of, you experience nature, you know. So if you find a place that is green,
it carries dust.
So the place, that particular area doesn't really have a lot of grass because it's got apartment buildings.
It's a bit arid,
right? And there's a dirt road. So when it's dry, when it hasn't rained, the road gets dusty, you know, and you wouldn't want to be in that dust. So I was just thinking to myself, and I was like, so you can already imagine what type of Mzungu he was. So you can imagine the type of life he was living in America, you know, or wherever he was coming from. Anyway, needless to say, so what happens if that Mzungu goes into an apartment, rents it? Obviously, the landlord is not going to be telling him the same price that other Kenyans are paying.
Right. And from then on, the landlord starts adjusting the prices of his house to match the one he has given the Mzungu.
So guys, anyway, Kenyans right now are complaining because literally there's like spaces you used to go into without problems, but because white people have come into the country, they're given the first priority, you know.
Right.
And that with good reason is really making Kenyans feel like they're not at home in their own homes, you know.
Right. And another thing, I do feel like maybe this year more than other durations, white people are starting to increasingly come into Kenya.
Yeah, but it's not just this year, it's something that has been gradually happening.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is for this year, I can try to explain this phenomena as the UN relocation also. I feel like it's kind of influencing people, because I do feel like white people feel like if UN is moving to Kenya, then it means it's safe enough for them to also move.
But guys,
they're moving along with the UN personnel males that are coming into Kenya and stuff.
But this is not good, guys, because
it's not good.
Okay, let me speak a little bit about our political situation right now, although against my better judgment, but I'll still speak on it, right? Kenya was named a non-NATO ally, right? For that to have happened, you all know why that happened.
Kenya
because
had to betray Haiti. Not that we were in any collaboration with them, but we had to go.
Yeah,
not
but a lot of Kenyans have spoken clearly to the international citizens, and they've said whatever our president does not represent all of our feelings.
Yes,
and
yes.
I'm sure if a lot of you can understand that, then you would know that some decisions are being made that are not necessarily reflecting the best interests of the citizens, right?
Yeah, because even with the UN moving to Kenya, a lot of people have
protested against it.
Yeah, if you go to the Kenyan side of TikTok, guys, you will find all this information, right? So for those of you who want to look further, a lot of Kenyans are saying that UN coming to Kenya is not necessarily a good thing, because remember, there is Congo and its minerals that are being mined, you know. And I feel like a lot of Kenyans feel like UN and these other organizations are choosing Kenya because
it's a
in
strategy.
East Africa, Kenya is kind of stable, more stable than the rest, and its road systems have been praised, you know.
And also because Kenya is strategically placed to access every other country from the east, you know. That is even from South Africa. If you want to access Central Africa, North Africa, like Kenya is really strategically placed, and also it sits at the coast side of Indian Ocean, right? So this is why, for a lot of reasons, is why it's being chosen, and Kenyans are not happy about that.
Right. So guys, let us know what you think about this episode. And for those of you, of course, who want to follow these stories more, you can go to the Kenyan side of TikTok, and especially start with the places we've told you to search about. But in all this, I feel like, personally, as a Kenyan, I'm not speaking for every Kenyan, right? But as a Kenyan, I feel like if it is inevitable for foreigners to come into Kenya, I would like it to be black settlers, you know,
right?
For the most part.
Right. The unfortunate part is when we said white people are getting the privileges, and more so the privilege increases when they come into countries like Kenya, because we once had a fan who is of Jamaican origin, right? He came to Kenya and he was looking to invest and start a business, but the kind of hurdles he was facing, and he was explaining to us, was so much great that for another person they would have given up, right?
Especially because of corruption, the kind of corruption that is in Kenya.
Right.
You need corruption when you're calculating the cost of starting a business in Kenya. You should include corruption money in that budget,
right?
You know?
And it has to be a lot. And this, keeping in mind that there are some government officials who might take, or just people who are related to the government officials in one way or another, who are waiting to just
their percentages.
Yeah, so it
becomes
tricky.
A bit easier if you're already coming into Kenya with a Kenyan partner, not marriage partner, a Kenyan partner in terms of business.
It could even be a marriage partner. Just know what you're doing.
Okay, yeah, it can even be a marriage partner, but know what you're doing, because some people get washed out here. Their money goes. So if you find a Kenyan person who is a good business person, and you're willing to collab with that person, it's way easier for you guys to start a business than if you're coming into it alone here in Kenya, unless you have a lot of money, including corruption money, to give away.
Right, guys, I hope for those ones who normally ask what is going on in your own country or in Africa, that is just a country in Africa, Kenya, right? That is a drop of what is going on in Kenya, and we thought,
and right now it is very volatile for people to speak about politics. If you
that
know
is
what
where
I
we
mean.
don't touch that topic,
right?
But everything aside, for those ones who are wondering, I feel like this is a topic that kind of relates to what we normally talk about on this channel. But this does not mean, just get me clearly, this does not mean that for every other person, life in Kenya is unbearable. This was just a few of people's testament, because we've also done Black Americans moving to Kenya, and they've had good experiences. Basically, if you go on.
And I feel like it's also important to note that much as Kenyans treat black people bad, Kenyans treat Kenyans badly. But if they realize you're a foreigner, if you're a black person, a foreigner with an accent, they treat you better than they treat Kenyans. Know that that is good, but I thought it was important to note.
Yeah, just the fact that you're American, I feel like foreigners get
it accords you privilege.
Yeah, foreigners get treated well, yeah?
Yeah.
But let us know what you think about this episode on the comment section. And also, I want to encourage you, if you're a Black American looking to come into Kenya, you can come for a vacation, you can come for, to just experience the country and then you see what's going on. I assure you that you're not going to have a bad time. Of course, you're going to find people who are going to maybe be
try to scam you,
pricing you or things like that, but also understand that there are Kenyans who also do it to Kenyans. For example, me, if I'm a Nairobian, I go to a different county, like let's say Mombasa, and they normally know. It's
if
like
you're
someone
from Nairobi,
from Texas,
and
it's like someone from Texas and someone from LA. You'll know these two people are from those two different
regions.
So if they move into each other's territory, this one will know that this is not a normal LA person, and this one will know that this is not a normal Texan person. So they're gonna try to take advantage when it comes to business to make profit off of that, So it's the same thing. But other than that, like, Kenya is a good place to experience, yeah.
Right. So guys, let us know what you think about this episode, and also consider subscribing if you're new to our channel, and we'll see you on our next episode.
Right.